Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching one of 5 video demonstrations for the McNay Art Museum's Art for All Spring Break activities. These activities will highlight one artist out of the 5 from our current exhibition called Limitless: 5 Women Reshape Contemporary Art. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. So this activity is called Infinity Lantern, and it's going to highlight Yayoi Kusama, a Japanese artist in the Limitless exhibition, and she's known for creating these installations called infinity rooms. So we are going to make a very small version of that on our own. Some of the supplies that you will need are some kind of recycled glass jar. I have this really small craft jar. You could use an old jelly jar, salsa jar, anything. It doesn't even have to have a lid, just something made of glass, even if you have a small glass vase, but preferably clear glass. If it's a brown glass or a green glass, I think that would work just fine too. You'll need some all-purpose glue, Elmer's, this is Blick, Mod Podge, all the same. You'll need some glue. You will need a paintbrush. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bristle brush like this one. It's just going to be for applying the glue, not necessarily to paint. So if you have any other objects or supplies that could do the same thing, you can use that. And lastly, most importantly, you'll need some of this tissue paper. Any kind of really thin paper will work well, but tissue paper is really fun. You can recycle it from gift bags or anything like that, any kind of decorative material. But it's the point of using it is because it's very thin, it's very malleable, it's colorful, and I have mine cut into these kind of pre-cut little square pieces, but you can use any shape. And this will be used to create our image on this on our recycled glass. So to get started, I'm just going to use, where is it here? I'm going to use this kind of scrap piece of paper that I just tore up from another envelope. And you could use anything really. I just want something to squeeze a little bit of glue on, just like that, a little dab, and I'll put that aside. And I'm going to get a few squares, different colors, and kind of pre-separate them because they tend to kind of stick together. I'm going to separate them and just set them aside so they're easy to kind of grab at. Let's see, I got some blue, white, green, orange, fun colors. And again, if you want to use polka dots, that might be more appropriate since the artist Yayoi Kusama uses polka dots in almost all of her work. And she makes these really mesmerizing paintings and installations and lanterns and infinity rooms and stuff, all with polka dots. At least polka dots are incorporated into much of it. Okay, so got my jar, got my glue, got my tissue paper, got my brush or some kind of applicator, and I'm gonna dab a little here. Just gonna start painting like a little thin layer of glue. I'm gonna grab a piece of tissue paper and just apply it on there. So I put glue on the glass to stick this, and then you can also paint it over the tissue paper like that in a thin layer. And when it dries, it should dry clear. It tore a little bit, but that's cool. That should work just fine. All right, now to continue that, just gonna grab another piece. I'm gonna overlap those and see if it makes a cool color when they overlap. Kind of does, kind of doesn't. That's all right. Okay. And then I would like to grab a green. Put that on here. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. It's relatively easy, and I would like to cover the entire surface of my jar like this. And if you like, you could do an abstract kind of design like I'm doing here, or you can cut specific shapes and make a kind of a representational image. I know when I was little, I made a flower garden out of tissue paper on an old jelly jar, and I still have that jar. I'm just going to get a little more glue. Um, so if you want to make a portrait or a picture of something that you like and personalize this, you're welcome to. But if you would also like to kind of keep the abstract theme going, you are more than welcome. This is your deal. And you're going to get a little sticky. And one kind of cool thing too is if you could purposely kind of scrunch, let me get more glue. You can purposely kind of scrunch the paper up like that and wrinkle it, and it creates a different texture as opposed to the more like flat texture that's going on over here. And the more layers of tissue paper that you apply or stack on top of one another, the more opaque your jar will be. And I think that that's just a really cool and interesting effect as well. How about a blue? Yeah. So another element that could be used for a jar like this is light. And that could be, all right, I'm going to stop right there just for time's sake, but you can kind of see my cool little pattern going on here. I could leave it just like this. I could continue and cover the bottom. I can go all the way up here to where the lid cuts off here. But I'm gonna let my glue dry at least maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, or overnight if you want to make sure that it's completely dry. But usually Mod Podge and these types of glues don't take very long to dry. Um, and you can create a lantern out of this in several ways. One way is if you have some of those small electric tea lights. They look like little fake candles. You can pop one of those in here um, and then put your lid on it or not, or keep the lid off. And then you have a cool lantern, and the light that shows through from the inside will light up all these beautiful colors of tissue paper that you have. Um, and you very carefully, if you want to use a real candle fire tea light, you can put one of those in here as well, but I wouldn't put the lid on it then. Other people have also used those really short strings of LED lights that are usually battery powered. You could just coil one up inside of here and it'll look like a little fairy lantern. So whatever you have available to you, you're welcome to use. This could do just as well in a really nice sunlit window, and you'd still get some light going through it. And that is how you make an infinity lantern. I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you rethink recycling all of the or throwing your recycled glass into the recycle bin, and you could make some really fun, beautiful, decorative things with it. This is an all ages activity, and I hope you get to Google Yayoi Kusama and look up her infinity rooms and come and check out the exhibition at the McNay. Thanks for joining.